my rain barrel, and I added a few new things this year. This is a kiwi plant. It won't bear fruit for a couple of years, but it's a start. And a lilac. And my rain barrel helps with watering the garden. A couple different kinds of zucchini and rhubarb. And look at the beautiful cleome. I've planted a lot more flowers in the garden this morning because I wanted to attract pollinators. And this little guy is window box mini basil. It's very tiny. Green beans and one of my favorite flowers, the balloon flower. Yesterday I put in 32 corn plants, transplants. They look a little sad now, but I'm hoping they shape up with the fish fertilizer I put in. My greens have been picked a few times, so they look a little haphazard. I've picked half of my kohlrabi, but I've got about 5 others in there growing. When they get to be about 3 inches in diameter, I'll pick those. Celery and Swiss chard and green beans. Looks like I'm going to get a good crop this year. I also have green beans on the other end of the corn. This is my first bed here with heirloom Jersey tomatoes called Rutgers. This is what the Jersey tomato was based on. Nice, hardy, determinate plants. I'll tie them up when they get a little bit bigger. Start putting on fruit. Nice German oregano. And new this year in the garden, my hoop, cattle panel hoop. I love it, so sturdy. On this end, I have trombetta. It's a trombone squash. You can see one starting here. They get to be up to 4 foot long. So they're going to grow up and over this and hang down. I can't wait. On this side, I've got spaghetti squash. And there's a little one starting. There's 2 plants there. They're going to grow up and over. More zinnias. I love zinnias. I think I better thread this guy back through here. I gotta watch them. They want to take over. And they grab just like a cucumber. They're in the squash family too. More zinnias in there. That's a different kind. Pole beans on the other end, the left side of the hoop. Of course, over here I've got all kinds of cucumbers. Salad cucumbers, pickling cucumbers, bush cucumbers are under there as well. All kinds of cucumbers. We love cucumber salad in the summertime, and I like to make a lot of pickles. In back of the cucumbers, as you can see, I've got an overhead oak tree here, so it provides a little cooler space and some shade for the spinach. If you're wondering what this is in the middle of my bed, I decided to put a little compost bin in here with kitchen scraps, paper, shredded paper, whatever. It's all broke down now. Something decided to seed in there, germinate. I don't know what it is. Kind of looks like potatoes. We'll see. So far, you've seen about half of the garden. This half. Now we're going to go on to the newer section of the garden. Here in the corner, something new. Doesn't look real big yet, but this little bush here is beautyberry. I once saw beautyberry down in Monticello, and eventually, in maybe next year or the year after, it'll have bright fuchsia colored berries all up and down the stem, little clusters of berries up and down the stem. I thought it was just a beautiful plant, and then last summer I saw that you could make jam from those berries too. So of course I got excited. In front of that is a little plant called lantana. The grapevine is taking over. It's a wild grapevine, so I don't know if I'll get anything off of it, but I do see some little berry clusters there. I doubt if I will. I just need to have the boys pull that off of there. Another new addition to the garden this year is my brown turkey fig. A nice plant I got at Church's Nursery. It's got a lot of figs on there, as you can see. So hopefully they'll ripen this year. And now we turned our cement block bed into one long system with candle paddles up against the fence to trellis the tomato vines so they'll get the most sun they can. This is a very sunny, hot area in the garden, even with the oak tree there. I just had to buy one big beef tomato, so I put that in a box next to it. I see a red beefsteak there in the back too, which I had a piece of it break off when I planted it. I just stuck the thing in the ground and I got a whole new plant, which is almost as big as the mother plant. That's that one. Basil, of course, and I don't need this little oak seedling in there. This is bee balm. You probably recognize it. I planted it in a pot because so many of my friends told me, oh, watch out for bee balm because it's invasive. And I just got rid of a huge 6x8 bed of spearmint, so I don't need anything else invasive. Peppermint chocolate mint. Oh, I can't wait to try that. And of course, I planted it in a pot because I don't want it spreading all over the place. All across the back here, there's different kinds of tomatoes on this section. Brandywine pink, taxi, Cherokee purple, and of course the beefsteaks. 3 beefsteaks. They're growing up the fence. They're going to be setting fruit soon. I see a couple little teeny ones. And from this big boy, an heirloom favorite that I just love for spaghetti sauce, and those of you who know me know that I make Margie's grandma's favorite marinara sauce. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Sans Marzano plants there, and they are a fantastic plum tomato. In front of the tomatoes, I have got all kinds of peppers. Jalapenos, banana peppers, green peppers, bell peppers, red bell peppers, yellow bell peppers, pimento. I like to make a lot of salsa. I like to make a lot of pepper jam. I sell a lot of pepper jam in the fall at the festivals. So this is our new hotbed here. I should call it my Italian bed, but I don't want to be politically incorrect. When we changed the U-shaped cement block bed to make this big long one in back here, I didn't want to go through the trouble of taking out this part right here, which was the front wall of the old cement bed. You could kind of see a U shape in the dirt here. That's where the old bed was. So instead, I had the guys finish it off to make a small bed here. In the early spring, I used this for my garden nursery, but now I've got sage planted all the way around. I got that from my friend Julie, and I forget what kind it is. So Julie, if you know, post it. In here, yep, if they look like beans, they are. But they are yellow wax beans. So that should be fun to can up and freeze this summertime. Looking for a lot of beans. Over here next to it, I don't know what these are. I bought them years ago. They spread like wildflower. These black-eyed Susan looking tall flowers. And I've got a cluster of them here. There's another cluster here. One in the corner. I've got them in back of the bushes. You can see out front there. But they spread everywhere. But they do bring in some nice pollinators. But where are they today? I don't see any bees. Here's something new that I tried last year. I'm trying it again. It's artichokes. It's doing a whole lot better in a pot than it did last year in the ground. I didn't get anything from it in the ground. It just died. So I'm hoping, I think it's probably a heat-loving plant. So I'm hoping by putting those roots in a pot that they'll get nice and hot and give me at least one artichoke this year. More beautiful zinnias. This bed, as you can see, some of you know what it was. Asparagus. And these are the ferns that grow after your asparagus harvest. You let them grow, you let them go to seed. You can see a lot of the little seeds on there. And they'll fall to the ground and reseed the bed. So we just let those kind of go wild and try to keep the weeds at bay underneath of them. In back of the asparagus, got something new that I'm starting this year for my daughter-in-law, Leslie. Loofah gourds. They are a bugger to germinate because especially this season, we didn't get a whole lot of heat. We're just starting to get our heat, and they're heat-loving plants. So they're going to grow up on this cattle panel. I've got 4 hills of them, but I'm only seeing 2 seedlings there. Checking over here. No, I don't see anything else coming up, but I've got 2 coming up in the house. I decided when they took so long that I would germinate some more just to make sure I had enough. Here we have a nice pot of dill. Again, it is invasive, so we don't want it to take over. And in the corner here, I've got more of those yellow flowers. This is another new one here in the pot. These are invasive also, but I wouldn't mind if these invaded this whole space. But I did put them in a pot this year. Jerusalem artichokes. And those of you who have eaten them know that they're a fantastic replacement for potatoes. I see some little garden friends here. I don't know if you can see them. This little spider guy in there. He's doing a job for me. Here in the corner, this is my messy corner. I gotta get in there and clean that up. Put some cardboard down and some mulch on top of it. But I decided just to let the watermelon grow in there. And I think I'm going to reroute that over here. But this is watermelon. more zinnia, marigolds. And one of my prized possessions that I got from my brother years ago, my boysenberry bushes. They put out a lot of berries, and as you can see, it is a happy, sturdy plant. Look at all these berries that I'm going to be getting this year. And they're going to get 3 times the size of what you're seeing here. They are big. Last thing I have to show you is my little strawberry bed. When we changed the cement bed, I had part of it in strawberries and just decided to keep this little section still in strawberries. There's some nasturtiums in there as well, and some marigolds that aren't blooming right now. A few straggling strawberries in this bed behind also. So, that's my vegetable garden and fruit so far. Out front, everything is doing well too. I'll just take you on a quick little walk. All of you bees, you get over there by the vegetable garden. Hey, Captain. I guess you hear Charles in the background crowing away. Everything's looking real good. Everything is happy. As you can see, I've got some cardboard back there. I've got to get some more black mulch and mulch on top of that. It's my little hobbit garden. I should say gnome. My little gnome garden. This is my shade garden over here. Japanese maple. Happy. Yeah, we can see a little better. It's nice and cool over here. And the raspberry patch. This is on the other side of the house. I just picked raspberries yesterday, so everything that's on here isn't very ripe. And there's also a blueberry under there that was somehow a volunteer, but it's happy there, so I leave it. I planted a few vegetables over this side of the yard because I had overflow and I just wanted to see how they would do. I had some extra banana pepper, celery, an extra tomato plant, and zucchini, so I put it in there. We'll see. And I'll just take you to say hi to the boys and girls back here. Oh yay, the hydrangea is blooming. About time. There they are. Home sweet coop. I've got 13 chickens. Charles is the head honcho in there. I don't know if you can see him or not. But these are the chickens. I've got Buff Orpingtons. These are the Barred Plymouth Rocks. And then we added some new girls, 5 new, I think they're a cross between Rhode Island Red and Hampshires. They call them Browns. And there's Charles. He's a silky rooster. And the other ones are inside, hopefully laying eggs. I put a net over part of their enclosure because I was trying to give them a little extra space to run where the hawks wouldn't get them. Well, that's all for today. Bye.